Did you know that Aasimar and Tiefling are playable races that you can pick in Starfinder? I sure did. Oh shit, you can be an Aasimar or a Tiefling. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's rolling. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Maple Table. My name's Nathaniel. This is a channel where we discuss role-playing games, so if that's something you're interested in, love to have you hit that subscribe button. Today we're going to take a look at the Aasimar and the Tiefling, as these are playable races that have carried over from the original Pathfinder, or if you like, Dungeons & Dragons as well. I just think these are two really cool races because in a setting of science fiction and space magic, you can still be an angel or a demon, or the offspring of one of those two. The first thing you will notice when you're looking at these two races is that they are called Planar Saiyans. So don't go looking for Aasimar or Tiefling because you will not find it specifically listed as such in the rulebooks. Now the Planar Saiyan can be found in Alien Archives 2 on page 98 and 99. Extraplanar beings have a tendency to be horny little buggers, and they have thus conjoined with mostly humanoid forms to create the Aasimar and the Tiefling. Now if you're taking a quick look at this, one thing you will notice is that the descriptor on this says that it is commonly a medium-sized humanoid, which means you can play any race that you want and still have the extraplanar touched abilities, or at least the semblance thereof. And the rulebook will give you instructions on how to do this so that you can put your angelic or demonic influences on whatever type of race you want to play. So I thought that was a nice touch. What you will find in the Starfinder universe is that Aasimar or Tiefling type characters are actually pretty common in large trade hubs. So areas like Absalom Station, for example, you would find a large amount of them, or rather they would not be uncommon. However, if you were to travel to a place that is a little bit more insular or closed-minded, you might run into some troubles there with this type of a character. Planar Saiyans will start with a hit point rating of 4, so that's not too bad. And like just about everything else in any of these races or the rule books or whatever, they all have dark vision for up to 60 feet. An Aasimar will get a starting charisma bonus of +2, and that's it. Aasimars can cast Celestial Radiance, which basically just makes the room a little bit brighter wherever they stand. How angelic of them. They will also start with a resistance of 5 to acid, cold, and electrical damage. And since angelics are so good at diplomacy rather than violence, they will also gain a +2 to their diplomacy check and to their perception checks. And since Tieflings are a little bit more of the demonic persuasion, they will gain a +2 dexterity and a +2 intelligence and a -2 to charisma. Being born of general nasty creatures, they will be pretty good at being deceitful. So you will find that they will gain a +2 bonus to their bluff checks and to their stealth checks. Not to mention that they will also get a ability called Fiendish Gloom, which is the direct opposite to the Aasimar Celestial Radiance. They basically make the room darker around them. Tieflings will also get a damage resistance of 5 to fire, cold, and electrical. I thought the Planar Saiyan was actually quite a really neat addition to the game. It expands on some of those classic races from your Pathfinder games, and you can bring them forward into the modern age, and I just enjoy it. I like the idea of this. I also like that Paizo was thinking far enough ahead that they added these grafts on here so that if you didn't want to play just a human Tiefling or a human Aasimar, you can make a different variation of that using one of these lovely grafts here. I think it's a great option for creative players who are looking for something a little out of the ordinary. I think the starting stats are pretty average. 4 hit points isn't astounding, but it isn't terrible either. Getting the damage resistance right off the get-go to 3 elemental types, that's pretty big, especially when you're just starting out. However, some of the other starting abilities that they do get, I don't see there being a huge use for them outside of some roleplay opportunities, maybe if you have a really dynamic combat for some reason, but outside of that, I really can't see those being some of their starting abilities being terribly useful. One of the things that I would really like to see explored a little bit more in Starfinder would be the spheres. Most of your game is going to take place inside of the astral plane, which, if you're looking at what I've pulled up on the screen right now, would be the inner sphere. And not just the inner sphere, it would actually be the material plane. So while we do get a very brief paragraph explanation on all of these different areas and these zones within the core rulebook, I would really like to see a supplement dedicated to them for those players who are a little bit more interested in some of the supernatural aspects of Starfinder life. Being that I'm relatively new to Pathfinder, I'm finding that I don't have the history and some of the lore that would come from some of the older versions of the game. So I'm not as well versed in those areas on that side of the game. So I have nothing to draw from. And so maybe that's just an issue on my part. Maybe you feel the same way. If you do, let me know in the comments below if it's something that you're interested in having Paizo explore a little bit more. If you enjoyed today's video, love to have you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button if you found the information in today's video useful. On the screen now, I will have a playlist of other Starfinder races that you can explore at your own leisure. I will also have a posting up here for a video that YouTube thinks you might like. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. The Tieflings will also be good at stealth and bluff. Shit.